Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me
live while Instagram feverishly tells my followers that I've started a live video. Let's get into it. Welcome to the bullshit machine.
Welcome to the bullshit machine. If things run in your life and you don't want it to, and you don't know how to get it to stop, so watch the bullshit machine and you'll learn how.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the bullshit machine. I'm Johnny the Bag. I'm here to teabag the narrative, the brainwashing stories, and the removing the programming of the narrative, the bullshit machine, exposing the shit. Not like Alex Jones, but like just seeing through some of the like stark realizations. Like this today, I had a stark realization today, and it's like something that's been like showing up for a while, but like it's been a year. It's been over a year, like well over a year, and there's certain things that aren't gonna go back to anything that's ever gonna be like it. Like the masks, they're here to stay for some people. Probably more people than I had anticipated. It's and I don't know this. This is just like a feeling that I kind of had today, but I'm in Texas, and people are still like, I'm in the Austin area. People are still wearing the masks very heavily. It's like a weird thing for me, and it's because like I'm like, I followed the rules enough, not the mask thing, but like growing up, I learned to follow the rules enough. But like when the rules were lifted, hi there, when the rules were lifted, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's stop doing the thing that they're making us do. And being in Texas and going to the grocery store today. Do you want to hear the song? Going to the grocery store today, and then seeing the masks. It's like nobody's making anybody wear a mask. Is like what I'm realizing is like the rules are lifted. The mandate has been lifted, and like there's still a good 70%, 80% wearing the without having the rule, it makes it weirder that people are doing it. And that's it's without the it's like, so nobody's making you do that. And it's like it really makes me realize that nobody's making us do anything. Like, even if they said a vaccine was going to be mandated, like that, there's no situation in which a sovereign human being would like have to do that. Well, if they take my job away, yeah, right. So you have to be more powerful than your job, right? If they won't let me travel, okay, well, either God's telling us not to travel, or God's saying figure out a different way to travel. There is no, like, it's only you that can do it. It's only you that can put on a mask. It's not like people tell me all the time, well, they're making me. And I'm there with not a mask on, in the same space as somebody saying that they're making me. And I'm like, wait a second, You see this, right? You see this. Right? And it's like, well, who is they at this point? It's like we look at this, we get this indoctrination to think that there's a they, and this is like evil wizardry. This is something that you like we're discovering because God's letting us see this. Right? So we make up this they, right? You see something on the TV and you make up this they, like they're going to make me do it, right? And then that they is enforced by a sign at the store, right? Or somebody saying you can't go into the store, right? That there's evidence for that they. It's enforced in a certain way, okay? But even though that they then exists, it goes from existing in your mind, right? Jumping from the television into your mind, and from your mind, right? You saw the sign, and now, oh my God, it's even more enforced. And then if somebody says something to me, right? I know they told me on the TV, and I don't want to do it. And then I saw the sign. It's like, oh my God, now I feel more pressure to do it. And then somebody says, do you need a mask? You're like, yeah, sure, give me two. The they is made up. Like the they is your, like you are the enforcer of your they. I am the enforcer of my they. They exists because we allow they into our lives. The they gets in our lives here, the television, school. The they exists, but we perpetuate the they, meaning like somebody's actually making you do something. That doesn't exist. That's nonsensical. It's like saying I don't know, the army killed people. Like China made the virus. Who is China? Like if somebody in China would say, "Oh, America, they very big round eye, they fucking you." Like who are they? Are they talking about you when somebody says, "Oh, America"? There's a they mentality. There's a them mentality that we're very, very irresponsible with. And I'm saying it because I've been very irresponsible with that. That they is like that victim. Like they won't let me. Like I wanna buy this and they won't let me. It's still like even like if the television tells you, Dr. Fauci says you got to put on a mask, you got to put on 17 masks, you got to layer up, layer after layer after layer, right? Right, and you're like, oh no, I got it, like whatever, like you're a rule follower, and then you go see the sign, and then you do, and then the person says it. Just because that thing in your body says that I'm scared, or they're going to kick me out, or something, or like I don't want to get in trouble, right? It's the I don't want to get in trouble that puts on the mask. That puts on the mask on your face. Or I don't want confrontation, or I don't want to do whatever. So then we'll fold to give up our God-given right to breathe. Because of the they. Like even says, sir, you have to put on a mask. No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, it's, and you can come up with, and I'm gonna, some of the ones, the rebuttals that I used, that I've been using and have been thinking of. I'm gonna come up with some of those, but like, it's always like when I went into the bookstore the other day, right? I could take it as far as I want to take it. Right? If I walked into the bookstore, you got to wear a mask. I'm like, no, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. I'm not asking for your permission. You got to wear a mask. Okay. Now, how far do I want to take it? Well, you got it. And then, another coworker gets involved, and then another coworker gets involved, and another coworker gets involved. So now I feel the pressure building up in me. Right? So it's either keep shopping and, whatever, stand there and argue and, tell them to call the police and this and that. But I got to know what I want to get out of it, too. Right? But it's how far I want to take it. Nobody can make you do the thing. You have to do the thing. If it's a matter of, well, I don't want to go all the way across town to shop at a different store, then that's still on you. Nobody's making you do that. Right? How far you want to take it with the individual in the store, right? The little brainwashed individual, the little he, she, whatever. However far you want to take that is up to you. I usually choose to just, And then that way I kind of scoot out and be like, hey, God bless everybody, right? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they're like, shut up, church. I'm like, okay. Right, so I push and bend to just the point that I want to. Can I go further? I'm sure I can. Right? This is like oh man, somebody's gonna, I don't know if somebody's gonna come with a boot or something like that. Like, hey. But it's a weird thing. But nobody can make you do that. People are doing it by themselves. It's just how lost we have to be. How lost we have to be. Let me pull up a picture here. Here, this kind of prompted this too. This is it's a climbing club. Every Tuesday and Thursday, ages 5 to 12. You can't see because my face is in the way. Shit. But the kids both have masks on. So this lady, I didn't cross out her name. Fuck it. What are they gonna do? Whatever. We prefer mask activities if indoors right now, so we'd be happy to support this cool business. Our little one has never complained about masks, LOL. We don't really understand the grown-up babies. Take care of each other. Okay. So now, this person, this is not a bad person. Right? And she says, do parents stay or leave? And it's still masks indoors, right? Right. This is not this lady just believes that. She just believes it. I don't know how else to put that, but it's not like somebody's trying to take away my freedoms in any of that. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not, that lady's not being mean or anything. She's way off in fantasy fuck mask land. And not a stable, that's not, in relation to reality, that's not stable. That's not a stable thought. Okay, that's thinking oh, let's go see the dinosaurs and the globe Earth. This was in the lobby of the hotel. I was like, wow, none of this is even real. And I will get into more of that too. That I have more to learn, but that's not the case of somebody saying you're an asshole if you wear a mask and blah, like you're not, like that's not somebody who wants to scream at anybody. And I like to do the maskless shopping things, and I like to be I like to be nice, But when I think about the future with that, like, where does that go? Like, where does that go? Because I know that, like, you can't cover that up for that long. There's a it eventually it's going to have to, like, you're going to feel the effects sooner or later. Like, you can't keep covering up your face and then thinking, and then not relating it to future health problems. It's not possible. Or if it is possible, like, I don't know that. I can't make that statement at 100%, but like, it just, where does this go? Where does this go? And then here's another one. I'm gonna read this. This is pretty inauthentic in itself. Hang on, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna read it from my phone because I can only see a little bit of it. I know you can too, but okay. It says, "Damn well said. You, the government, you are pussies. You raise the cost of living so high that both parents are always at work rather than spending time with their children. Single parents stand no chance." This is a letter to the government. Something I got off Facebook today. This was Connie's thing. And actually, Connie, this is for you. You took God out of schools. Okay, it's talking to the government. Parents were told, no, you can't discipline your kids. Well, our kids are assholes. You shall reap what you sow. And we have lost a whole generation and turned them into rude, selfish, disrespectful brats who have no respect for people, property, or authority. Okay, this is the other side of this is the right. This is not the liberal side. This is the other side. But do you see where this is going? Some of this, it sounds like, if you... let me keep reading. Disrespectful brats. You've deemed people with terminal illnesses and some with only a few months to live fit for work! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You allow our veterans of war to go homeless and hungry, but give out millions of foreign aid. To foreign aid. You save drug addicts over and over again, but refuse to give free diabetic supplies. You bend over backwards. Well, I could just this is gonna be a long, like, I'm gonna explain the shit out of this thing. You bend over backwards. I only skimmed through this earlier. You bend over backwards to be politically correct. He's talking to politicians. This is, I don't know why I just said it's a she. You bend over backwards to be politically correct, too scared to say enough is enough, in case you offend. You put the retirement age up so people must work until they drop. People depend on handouts and food banks whilst we... Okay, so this is from the UK. Whilst we give aid to others who can work for it. Our retired generation rely on inadequate pensions. Their thanks for working hard. Things need to change. All right, so this is such a great letter. I'm gonna rip this thing apart. This is beautiful. Okay, so you, the government, you are pussies. Okay, she's. Why do I keep? Okay, so the person that posted this was a woman. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I keep going with the she thing. But so you, the government, you are pussies. You raise the cost of living so high that both parents are always at work rather than spending time with their children. Single parents stand no chance. Now, this is true. Single parents, they stand a chance. It's just not, it's like, that's one of those things that I was talking about yesterday. It goes against God's plan. The single parent thing, it's not like, and don't, you take God's plan for however you want it to mean, but take it very light in this instance. Okay, because we've been doing a lot of sinning, and I'll say unknowingly, because there's been a lot of spells. Like this right here is a spell. But single parenthood, like man, woman, the battery, it's like a battery. It needs a positive and negative, right? It goes against God's plan. God's plan would make things like just perfect, Eden-like, right? So, the government didn't raise the cost of living. We did. Our parents did. And then their parents did before them. And then, it's like our parents, our baby boomer parents that wanted, that wanted their property value so high. We wanted to out-Jones the Joneses. We wanted to outdo everybody. That ego race is what raised our cost of living. Okay, we created a demand by trying to outfuck everybody, and the government is they have nothing to do with that, really. Like the cost of living, it's the stuff that we want, right? It's like they react to what we want, so we create big government. Okay, the people like us taking ourselves away, like needing more stuff, we create that. So we raised a cost of living so high because that's, and it's not like they didn't have any part in it. It's not like it couldn't have happened without them, right? They're part of the battery, and it's a greedy part of the battery. It sees an opportunity, right? And it quit being an opportunity for it to see. And then rather than spending time with their children, we did that, right? If I need, 2 SUVs, right? And I need a weekend car, I need a boat, I need this, I need that. Like I need to work. I'm raising my standard and my cost of living, right? I'm the one trying to get all that stuff and not spending time with my children. That's on you. That's on me. That's not on their agenda is their agenda. Like it's part of the battery. It's what needs to exist out of our exist for our need, out of our need. You took God out of schools. No. Parents took God out of schools. Agendas took God out of schools. Right? If we were overwhelmingly together on this, the politicians don't get their way. We the people means something. It's not just a tattoo. It's not just a saying. It's not just the beginning of the Constitution. It means something. If we the people, if we are community, right, we and our neighbors agree, right, we're all like-minded. The government says, well, let's take God out of school. Like, you want to take God out of school? Nope. You want to take God out of school? No. Larry, you? No. Barry, you? Right? No. Okay, so no, we're not taking God out of school. This is a victim consciousness letter. And it's not a wrong thing, but it's not the solution. This is what feeds the battery of nonsense. Okay? This is just yelling into a vacuum. So let's continue. Parents were told, no, you can't discipline your kids. Well, okay, so I was a kid that was disciplined really hard, right? And it was like confusing too. Like what was happening is that parents were beating beating their kids. Okay, you're told, no, you can't discipline your kids. Nobody can tell you anything. Okay. And when it comes to light that kids are getting like fucking beat like by alcoholics and shit, it's not, you need to, like, parents need to get with God on our own level of discipline, right? You don't listen to the government. You listen to God. How about that? You listen to God. Quit stumbling around the fucking situation, Neil. Well, our kids are assholes. Right. Our kids are assholes. Who said? Right? Like, are you an asshole for saying that everybody's kids are assholes? Like, insults are usually boomerangs, like 99.999% of the time. Like, an insult is usually a boomerang. When there's passion behind it, right? Well, our kids are assholes. Like, there's no responsibility. Well, our kid, like, that's meant for that person. Okay. There's comedy. This is charged. And this is not taking responsibilities. You shall reap what you sow. And we have lost, right? This person is in despair. We have lost a whole generation and turned them into rude, selfish, disrespectful brats who have no respect for people, property, or authority. Now, this person is not having respect for people or authority in this letter. This is why we're fucked up. This is the contradictions, the hypocrisy of what we do. And I'm not excluded from any of this. I'm just carving this letter apart right now so we can see it. Like, by carving this letter out carving this letter apart helps me see my own bullshit. Right? So just so you get this, like, picking this stuff apart and really seeing it for what it is helps me see my own bullshit, because I was indoctrinated the same way as you, right? I just seen it differently at this point. I woke up in the from the medical industry. I was like, oh my God, the stuff they're giving me is the stuff that's killing me. Oh, I better get away. And then I lived, right? So, yeah, there's, where am I at here? You shall reap what you sow. We've lost a whole generation. Yeah, and this is disrespect for authority. And I'm like, I get that authority is, there's a blurred line of what authority is right now. And I fell into a thing where I'm like, yeah, no, fuck authority, whatever. Like, I'm sovereign, I'm this, I'm that. And it's not, there's sovereignty, but we do need a structure, like our government, our structure. I wanted to, I don't know what the fuck I thought. I was just thinking, like, we're all gonna, like, roam the earth in robes and shit and fuck, I don't know. But anyway, some weird thoughts. You have deemed people with terminal illnesses and some with only a few months to live fit for work. I think us as a people, as a humanity unit, like, where we took care of each other in a community, our children would take care of us as we age, right? We take care of our children, and then we take care of their children, and they take care of us, and like it's like this growing, this constant just a cycle of growth, and you know, and there's a lot of people on the planet. I mean, it's just it's bound to turn into something. Right, it's bound to turn into something, and right now we see what a lot of the evil that we've been that had to exist. We see a lot of the evil that had to exist for us to live the lifestyles that we've been living, like the porn, the drugs, the alcohol, the stress, the nonsense, the gay, the trans, the destroying the earth. Putting money as our God, idols, Hollywood, all of that shit is a form of Satan, right? I mean, there is, and I don't want to say that it's like I'm not trying to be Mr. Goody Two Shoes, like, oh, all of it's bad, all of it's shit, but the lifestyle of it, the porn and jerk lifestyle, right? Like, it became okay. It became cool. It became okay. It became cool. Like, we saw everybody's talking about, oh man, I jerked off fucking 4 times yesterday, and blah blah blah. Like, and oh man, look at that. There's so much porn on the internet, and that as a lifestyle, what has to exist is like pedophilia and child trafficking and molestation and like disgusting rape and like. And then we're a society that walks around with shit in our heads like that, and then we look at women like that. That's not the way. That's not the way to be a man. That's not the way that men need to look at women. It's not. Like, if you're walking around with this, like, you got the ball in the mouth, or you're like, oh, you jerked off at 8:30. I've done this shit, right? You're like, whatever, and then you get this. Your energy is. That is messed up. You have. It's so far away from reality. It makes us treat people like not people. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm having a great time not watching porn and not jerking off, in case you can't tell. Okay, let's move on. Root selfish, no response. Okay, so no authority. You deem people with terminal illnesses with only a few minutes to live fit for work. If we were taking care of our families, we don't. Most of our work is paperwork. Like, we don't need to work the way we think we need to work at the level that we do. Like America used to be 80% farms, 20% city. You see what happens when we flip-flop it. But yeah, the people with terminal illnesses and stuff like that, who even determines that? Doctors are wizards. A terminal illness, you the human, somebody tried to, I didn't accept it, tried to give me a 2 weeks to live prognosis. Just go fuck yourself, right? Take that back. That's yours. That's not, like, who gives people these terminal illnesses? Like, oh, Neil, you don't know. I recovered from one of those terminal illnesses. 2 weeks is terminal. Okay. And some with only a few months to live fit for work. And I was working well past the two, like, so you allow our veterans of war to go homeless and hungry, but give out millions to foreign aid. That's just somebody who doesn't know the system. That's just that's the design. That's like, it's like you get money from the thing you're sucking the money from and you give it to your friends. They do you favors. They send immigrants over so you can get more money from the banks and stuff like that. Oh yeah, no, you get part of it. I'll get this $4 trillion loan, and then you'll get that. And you'll get that. This is just somebody that doesn't know how that works. And I'm not saying that I know 100% how it works, but what I'm talking about is a lot closer to screaming at somebody for giving out millions to foreign aid. Here, we give out billions to NASA. NASA's a cartoon maker. Like NASA uses money to make cartoons, and whatever they're trying to do, I don't know, but what their space stuff, their Earth stuff is all cartoons. There is no round spinning ball Earth. They even admit that there's no pictures. Okay, that's a different topic, different day. So you save drug addicts over and over again, but refuse to give free diabetic supplies. Okay. Diabetics are insulin drug addicts. Their bodies can't live without it. And this is somebody who doesn't understand the human body, right? So when they scramble your eggs over and over and over and over again, you give out millions, or you save drug addicts over and over again, but you refuse to give out diabetic supplies. Here, you don't want, what diabetic supplies do you want? Do you, like, the way that they treat diabetes is satanic. It's pure evil. It's treating the disease with the disease. It's like the vaccines. They give you the thing. Not this one, not the mRNA. I don't know what it does, but the narrative behind them is like, well, we put a little bit in there, and then your body says, oh, I'm gonna fight against that, and it creates antibodies, and it flushes your body. That's not, you're already ready already. We were born ready. That's why, I mean, when you take God out, when you let, like, I was all for taking God out of schools, right? It wasn't the government. Like, I was all for it. I didn't vote or anything, but like, I was all for it. I'm like, yeah, that shouldn't be in there. And it was based off of my worldview, based off of what I learned when I was a child. You know, it's like this worldview is messed up, and my worldview was messed up. Like when they were doing that, I was in. And to a point, the people there teaching God, I don't know if I'd want that anyway. Like from what I know about teachers and their indoctrination, I don't know if I'd want anybody but me or my child's mother, or, you know, close family or whatever, somebody that I choose teaching, you know, my children about God. Sure. So yeah, diabetic supplies. You don't know the human body. You know, whoever wrote this letter, and this is probably something that they passed around the internet, or maybe it's real. I don't know. So, let's continue. You bend over backwards to be politically correct, too scared to say enough is enough in case you offend. Okay, so you put okay, so you bend it over backwards to be politically correct. Well, they invent politically correct. Like, this is to scramble your eggs too. Too scared to say enough is enough in case you offend, but this person is obviously offended. Right? And what they're talking about, I think, and I can be wrong on this. I reserve the right to be wrong on anything that I say, because I'm not fucking God. Okay? And I don't want to say fucking God. I'm not God. Okay? So I reserve the right to be wrong. But what I think she's saying is that too scared to say enough is enough is like when we make these laws that like it gets really, really inclusive, and it gets really inclusive, like the men in the women's room and stuff like that, and it gets creepy, and they're like, oh, well, we're too scared to say enough is enough. That's probably it. But we have to lead up to that. Like you have to give that up in order for it to be a thing. And bending over backwards to be too politically correct, like that's just a term. That's a psychological term that make people say silly things. You put the retirement age up so people must work until they drop. If we were on farms, if we were if we didn't have to, if we didn't need the government, like if we didn't have these city lives where we go and we put ourselves in these cubicles and we do all this paperwork for all this convenience and all this stuff, right? The reason why people left the farms, right? They were sold convenience. Oh, well, you won't have to do this anymore. We'll get this machine to do it, or we'll get this to do it. We'll get this to do it, right? And then they sold the children, and the children were like, oh no, you can't leave the farm. If the retirement age wouldn't matter, if we, let's just say I have a farm, and I don't, but let's just say, the Amish, you know who doesn't have this problem? The Amish, right? Trying to dance around it. Don't dance around it. The Amish don't have this problem, right? Do you think the Amish, and I'm not saying that you have to be Amish, but look at the lives that we live. It is, can I have? Well, when will you let me? What can we do this? Where do I need to stand in line for this? Should I, do I eat eggs this week? Do I drink coffee this week? So I don't eat eggs. It's too much. Like, what lives are we living that there is a retirement age? Right? It's not, the government doesn't put the retirement age. Like a millionaire doesn't have a retirement age. Like somebody who enjoys working doesn't have a retirement age because they want to work, because working isn't work. I mean, I get what this person's saying, right? But so the retirement age goes from 60 and then 65 and now 67, and like I understand that, to get Social Security. Or whatever's in the UK, because they said whilst. But yeah, people depend on handouts and food banks whilst we give aid to others who can work for it, right? A retired generation rely on inadequate pensions. Their thanks for working hard. Things need to change. So that's absolutely right. But again, like, who doesn't have this problem? The Amish, farmers, people who live lives according to God's plan, right? Am I somebody who has been living, no, I've been, I used to frequent strip clubs and bars. Like, I get all that. And that's, and it's cool that I get to share this awakening with you. It's not, and that, yeah. It's not that, like, this person here, nobody is where was I at with that? Hang on a second. Yeah, it's pure blame. Nobody's making any of that true in that person's life except for them, right? If they're kids, and they say a whole generation, so now they're judging a whole generation, right? Whoever wrote this letter, don't be this person. They're judging a whole generation, and then it's our worldview. This is one of the reasons why the internet and just everybody being able to shout into a vacuum is, it's we're seeing the effects of it, right? I'm not going to say that nobody should be allowed to, but or censor anybody. Right? I mean. But we're seeing the effects of it. And then if you feel yourself wanting to be more exclusionary, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, because that's true and real, right? Because when we include so much, like when we think we need to include everybody and everything, then our values and our morals, they go down. We compromise, and I'm not saying that life isn't about compromise or anything, but like when we let Freddy Krueger into the house via our television, right? Or you know, you let like Luciferian, like satanic sex practices in the house via television on, you know, award shows and variety shows like Idol and shit. You know, we're doing it to ourselves. You can't blame anybody, right? Like, when people say that the government is killing people, no, it's people killing people using the government as an excuse. That's how powerful the spells are. That's how powerful the words are. That's how powerful the psyops are. Is that like, it's not, it's people doing the thing and then using the other, well, I have to because it's my job. What? You're blaming the wrong thing. Like, the government can't kill people. People can kill people. Right? The government can use people, but if we're blaming the wrong thing, then we're not getting anywhere. We're not growing. Right? You're blaming somebody for problems that you don't need to have. And these are very stark realizations. I mean, it's not, yeah. I mean, when you're doing it yourself, when you realize you're doing it yourself, then you can stop it. That's the reason why we learn to do, ooh, hang on, here we go. That's the reason why we learn to do things ourselves. So here's another thing too. I'm scheduled for, shit, I have this one on here. So this guy on Twitter, yeah, I could have blocked out his name, who cares? I'm scheduled for Pfizer 1, any pointers. This is how crazy, crazy's not a bad word, all right? I'm denouncing crazy as a bad word, but look at Peep Toad here. My mom was 82, I already had both doses, whatever. Oh, this is the same guy. Okay. Take Tylenol before you leave. Your arm will be sore about 12 hours later. So I actually read an article. This is just like, this is the blind leading the blind. This is the sheep corralling themselves. That's good. I like that. This is the sheep corralling themselves. Take Tylenol before you leave. I've read a couple articles that say, yeah, don't take anything, you know, before the vaccination or whatever. And then let's see. Yes, lots of water. How about this? I never heard of the exercise theory, but lots of water. I got Moderna. I know who got Pfizer, had no side effects, but like, I had a sore arm. You'll be amazed how pleasing the experiment, or how pleasant the experiment is. A lovely taste of nationalized free medical care. Yeah. So there is no back to normal. There is no back to normal. That's normal. That is normal. And that fear is, that's fear. That's fear. There was who put this up? Did I tweet that? Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. 200 years ago, 94%. This is something I wanted to show you this. This is something that, like, Here, let me read it. 200 years ago, 94% of the world was in extreme poverty. Now it's 10%. Capitalism hasn't failed. This is something I would have read this tweet, and with like this is why I follow certain people, and you'll see the response below. But you know, I'd be like, oh, this guy's an idiot. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. But I wouldn't be able. There's a part of me that wouldn't be able to explain it, right? Like. Yeah, 94% extreme poverty. I'm like, what did extreme poverty even mean 200 years ago? Right? Like what are you talking about? And then so here's the response to this. And this is again, this is why I follow certain people, because I know this is retarded, but this is measured in money. It's a ridiculous binary. In 20 years, and this is a great example, in 20 years they will look back at us on surviving on less than 1 Bitcoin a year. It doesn't make sense. It's like that's why this doesn't make sense. Connie, I was just talking about you, and the letter you're gonna like that that thing that I spoke about on Facebook. The thing that it said it's missing, it's in the wrong direction. I did like a half hour on that, maybe 45 minutes, so it's good. So yeah, 100 years ago, people had better families, better diets, better attitudes, more skills, less addiction, and measuring poverty. Like there was no way to measure poverty like the way he's measuring poverty the way we do now, and then applying it to 200 years ago. Right? That's ridiculous. That's when you know people are just. Like just out of it. And then this is the that thing that I told you I was explaining. So, but yeah, that's where was that? Yeah, there's no that's how they get you. Like that's a spell. Like, oh, 200 years ago. Well, how do they measure the extreme poverty? Right? Is it like, what does that mean? Another way how they get, like, this is, they just show you, like, this is one, like, I didn't have to do any work on this one. It goes 18 pictures that show just how chaotic the gas shortage in the United States has been. They're just showing you. It's like, well, here's 18 pictures, and then these pictures get floated all over the internet. There's people. I didn't have the pictures. I didn't want to share the pictures. You'll find them. You see them. They're all over. People in bags and stuff like that. But like, you don't need to see it because it's the same fucking idiots that were hoarding toilet paper. Right? It's the same morons that were hoarding toilet paper. And if you don't understand, about crude oil, we're not in any shortage. We're not in any short supply of crude oil. Where did that one go? This is good. Hang on. Oh yeah, you gotta wear a mask. All right, crude oil is absolutely renewable. Ignorant children of the television. It replenishes just like our blood, and plants love the CO2 our cars release. Now, do we release a little bit too much of it? Probably, right? But like, that's not. There is no the gas shortage. Oh wait, cancel. The gas shortage is phony. It's scarcity made up, right? Like, that's not the right one. It is scarcity just completely made up. Hang on. I had a scarcity one. It was really good. Where'd it go? Anyway. so that gas shortage stuff, while it will prove itself true because you might not be able to buy gas, that doesn't mean that there's an actual shortage. Okay? That's the thing. That's the psychological operation is, well, now let's see. We've taken, we've messed with them. We've locked them down. We've put them in camps. We put them in. We've ruined their businesses. We've put masks on them. We've done all this crazy, ridiculous rules that keep changing every week. It's like, now let's see what we could do with the weather machine, right? With the snow in Texas. But let's see what we can do with the gas now. Let's see how much fear we can pump into people. It's like, man, like that's what that is. It's like, if understand that the true puppet masters are doing all of this because they're scared that you will kill them. Right? They're weak. All of this stuff is done out of fear. That's why you just take everything with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean anything. We just stop blaming everybody else. Right? This was Twitter, maybe Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, this is what, like, the narrative, like, you don't want herd immunity. You don't even know what fucking herd immunity is. Like, herd immunity is based on germ theory, and germ theory isn't real. Germ theory is a theory. That's why it's called germ theory. Because it's a theory. Where is it? Yeah, germ theory perpetuates blah, 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 lack of personal responsibility for health and a warlike mentality towards nature. Germ theory itself is the contagious disease, not the non-living microscopic particles and microorganisms that it claims are disease-causing. Like, here, and Connie, you're on here. The medicine, like, one of the things that I heard today was, and this is why I got out of the medical system. But one of the things that I heard today was that AIDS, like anybody who took the AZT drug back in the 80s and early 90s or whatever, that AZT, that was the thing that was killing people, not the AIDS. It's an autoimmune disease, and an autoimmune disease is very easy to you can make that, you can make it worse. You can medicate an autoimmune disease and make it worse. So I know that a lot of the stuff that they were giving me, right, and that's why this is in my book. A lot of the stuff that they were giving me when I was in the hospital or whatever, or just anything, was always making my problems worse. So anything that you might be taking, consider that as a possibility. Right? I like the lady who checked me into this hotel. We talked. She's a real nice lady. She's got a daughter my age, right? We talk about God a lot and stuff, and she was telling me some stories of people that she knows that went into hospitals healthy and ended up went on some kind of month-long excursion or like, you know, got really, really sick, and haven't been the same since. So just understand that what they've been doing, I think, with the pharmaceutical industry especially, what they've been doing has depended on a lot of trust in consciousness. Right, the chemical potions that they've been making, trying to re-chemicalize us, like as stuff started to come out, right, it didn't have, like, they didn't get sued on anything yet, right? Like, they just, like, it worked better because we were more trusting. Well, now we're wise to it, and the body knows, right? Too many things have gone wrong. And the body knows. It's like, the bigger that thing gets, like the more options they have in the pharmaceutical industry, basically it's like they're treating all the things that they're creating. Right? Like, let's just say you start, like, aspirin caused this, and then you make up a thing for that thing, and then it caused that, and then you make up a thing for that thing, and it caused that, and it made up a thing for that thing, it caused that, and made up a thing for that thing. And that's why you see these old people with these pills, these freaking pills, like, I can't live without my pills. I can't live without my pills. Hey, Junior, go get me another soda, all right? And put a little whiskey in it. Right? That's what's fucking, like, we don't want to change our diet. We don't want to change our ways. Right? So that's why the pharmaceutical industry is so needed. Because we don't care. Where's that picture? Oh, that was such a good picture. Here, this is what we want to be. Right? Look at that. This is clown world. I bet 93% of those people are on medication, some type of doctor medication. It's crazy. There's another one. I'll read this one. The CDC will no longer report COVID cases of those who have been vaccinated. Only the unvaccinated. This is what they have done over the course of history to prove vaccines work and eradicate disease. I don't know if you know what eradicate disease means, but it's never happened. It's never been possible. The human body responds to being toxic. That's what disease is. So that's what pharmaceuticals are. Pharmaceuticals are toxic. That your thing, and I like, you trust God in this. Your thing is it's caused by the thing that, like, it's being worsened by the thing that you're taking. They have to lie to make it seem as though the vaccine is working. Numbers are going down, and the unvaccinated are the only ones getting the COVID-19. So it's a constant mental battle. It's a constant assault. It's like, when I talk a lot about staying present, right? And that's what that means. Like, seeing that, like seeing that, understanding that. Well, if there's a story about a mission to Mars, right? Well, Mars is a light in the sky. So we can't possibly put a helicopter on it, and we can't possibly put a rover on it, and it can't possibly be dirt, and it can't so like it's like so easy when you're present. You're like, oh yeah, when you're present, you're here. You understand that the bullshit machine is trying to get you, trying to get into you, right? So your presence is required. Your being here on this planet is required. Just the brainwash, like, and the more you see it, like, the more you'll think that you'll understand that you're winning. It feels like you're winning. Like, well, sometimes you read this shit, you're like, that's sick, but you at least see it for what it is. You can see the forest through the trees. You can see. I like when the more I see through bullshit, the more it connects me to God. The more I see through the nonsense, the more it connects me to God. Because the lies are the deception. The truth is God. Right? All of it's God, but God allows the lies to exist to test our resolve, to wake us up, for us to have this experience. Right? In my opinion, if at least when I look at it like that, I don't feel like a victim. I'm like, yeah, oh shit, man, I'm in this life, and there's a test here. Right? And at one point, my test was to never take another pharmaceutical again. Right? Or at least at once. So, it wasn't what I expected. I was hoping that would have been cheesier. So yeah, and then it's just an experience. So, all right. So let's get into. If you have any mask rebuttals, type one in. Like here, if somebody's like, "Sir, you gotta wear a mask," and be like, "No thanks, I'm not retarded." "Sir, you gotta wear a mask." "What'd you say, he, she?" Let's see. "Sir, can you please put on your mask?" "Masks are for pedophiles and perverts. Which one are you, miss?" Let's see. I'm the only one in the room here, so I don't know if I'm the only one not laughing. So I just assume you're not laughing either. You gotta wear a mask. "Sorry, bitch. I'm not scheduled for surgery today." For surgery today. Is this thing on? Okay. You gotta wear a mask. This is stupid. Wait, you don't have any masks? So you gotta wear a mask. So like, here, tell me to go fuck myself. Like, you gotta wear a mask. Fuck you. Like, you gotta wear a mask. Be gone, Satan. But yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm just over it. I understand more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And that is my gift. And not like that is a gift to me, right? That's not And the more I do that, the more I the more humility enters my life, the more authenticity, the more energy I can put towards the things I actually want to move towards in my life. And God is a huge part of that, all of it, and I really am so grateful that, like, when I talk about, like, my evolution of, just the story, like the story that of me, and I get to reflect back on, being in the middle of that 2 weeks, right, and questioning all of it, and the eye openings and the door openings and the realizations and the onion being peeled. Like, it's not like, it's all it's a relief that like, I'm so glad I was wrong. I like, when I really think about it, I'm like, man, I am so glad that, like, the having the worldview of an atheist. I'm glad that wasn't. I'm glad that wasn't true, and that I understand that the things that I say now, like, are as true to me as they need to be. Right, and but there's a foundation. There's a lot more. There's a lot more that I'm learning and like releasing and picking up at the same time. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I'm sure you get it. So, and if you don't, that's fine. That's fine. So, but yeah, cool. I gotta make sure that I don't delete it. So, yeah, I don't, like, nobody is making, I don't know how many people you see wearing the mask, but, like, and the mask is just a thing about, like, a doorway to it, but nobody is making anybody do anything. Like, it's just, everybody's just all doing it willingly. Like, even if you feel like you're fighting it, like, what are you fighting? Like, you're not gonna come get me, and like, nobody's knocking on your door to come shoot you with any poison. All right? Yeah, but I saw this thing on Facebook, and they put it on the news, and right, yeah, it's one instance. It might not even be that instance. Just like be over it. It's like, no, and well, and just real, like if you want to blame that's right, you'll watch this, but if you want to blame the government or anything like that, just understand, like, there's nobody making you do anything. Like that, my mom makes me, my kids make me, my sister makes me, my boss makes me. It's like there is no making me. Yeah. Right. Well, the kids are different, right? I mean, that's those parents. Nobody's making them. Like, here, like if we were in real communities and the school said, "Well, I want to put masks on your kids," and like the community would be like, "No, get the fuck out of here. We'll teach our own kids." That's what we need to be. That's the level of sustainment that we need to be. That's what we are. It's just we become fancy boys and lollipops and trying to look pretty with beards. No, the beard is the man thing, though. The other stuff is the, the fresh gay face is gay. So, what else? Let's see, what else do I have? Do I have anything else before I go? Let's see. You gotta put on a mask. You gotta put on a mask. Where am I going here? Yeah, let's see. Dear Babylon, you win. I'm no good in your fancy boy world. It's time for me to retreat. Thanks for everything. Yeah, time to sleep. Time for me too. So, all right. Well, you have a good night. If you are watching this replay and you want to donate to Be Higher Beings, go to Venmo and donate to Be Higher Beings, or PayPal and first@gmail.com. I appreciate you. Hopefully you appreciate this content as much as I appreciate making it. All right. Have a good night. Be higher beings. Stay powerful. And drink your tea.